Oh, hello. Okay, so today I want to talk about archetypes, but we're going to be unboxing an oldie but a goodie, okay? You guys, it's still in the plastic. I've had this for over a year. It's been in, like, I guess you could call that, there's a small box in the laundry room that's like my purgatory box of decks that I don't use hardly, or ones that I don't use very often, but that I don't want to get rid of. You know, like there's this box in there that no one talks about, full of tarot decks. Okay, and this was in there, and I actually have a couple of other decks that are still in the plastic that aren't getting used, and I need to find out if I'm going to use them or if they are going to get sold or given away to people. And I know that, like, the thing is that it's so cool to see when it's the deck's time, you know? Like, I think that sometimes decks have time. Like, you get into a FOMO situation, you can get into FOMO situations where you're like, oh my God, I just have to have it. And you buy it sight unseen, and then you realize it's not time to play with it yet. Or it's time to get out and get utilized. So that's weird. So I don't know what this story is. I bought this because I was going through a Carolyn Myss phase, I guess you could say, where I was listening to all of her podcasts, all of her YouTube interviews, all of her YouTube classes. I was going through all of her content and loving everything that she said. Well, almost everything she said, okay? And even went so far as to want to dive into some of her books, okay? And it was a really good journey that I took with that. Spiritually, the way in which she talks about spirituality and it being this archetypal place, this archetypal realm, right? Spirituality and religion is like this archetypal realm, and we're already there. And like she talks about imposter syndrome and archetypes and spirit, the essence of spirit, and mostly I believe that her content revolves around the essence of grace and what that means. And it's that like instinctual, innate feeling, right, that we have within us that tells us, hey, you know, don't say that, you know, because it's gonna come back to bite you in the ass, you know, something like that, right? That's grace. And she often talks about this in religious contexts, so that can, like, you know, defer a few people. But I really liked her stuff, okay? So that's a long preamble to me purchasing this deck, I don't even know, maybe 2 years ago now. And it's been in the purgatory box, not opened, not getting used. And so I believe it's time now. I guess the reasoning behind remembering that I had this deck, or whatever you want to call it, is my word of the year, which is instinct. Getting back in touch with my instincts, getting back in touch with, I get it's intuition, but it's not, okay? Instinct as in grace, as in the thing that lives inside of me that we don't always listen to, okay? It's not always intuition, it's other innate feelings as well, okay? So, trash. Okay, so, it's out of its package. Ooh. I'm so excited for this. This marks, I want to note this right now. This marks the only, and possibly the only one ever, Hay House deck that I own now. The only one. And I probably won't ever buy another one, because I don't necessarily believe in what Hay House is doing. I don't believe in the message, always. I don't technically believe in the message at all times, okay? So, it just doesn't resonate with me. But this just happens to be the publishing company that Carolyn Myss used. Pretty sure that they've published some of her books before. Ooh, that's a chunky deck. Okay. scratch this nonsense. Let's play. Okay, I was gonna give my first impressions, but I don't know. I'm not really feeling it. So we're gonna play around. All right. Here are the cards. Lovely, lovely, lovely. I love the color here. This is like one of the best features of the deck, that they have like these empty archetype cards. I love that. I love that because even though we have all these archetypes that we have at our fingertips, there's always room for more. And I like that is its message, you know? I also like the fact that we could do it in color, you know? Like, we could do it in color theory, you know? I don't know. Another really cool feature of this deck is that they have the child cards. According to Carolyn Myss, all of us share the four main archetypes: the victim, the saboteur, the prostitute, and the child. And each one of us would embody one of these child archetypes, and it's up to us to figure it out. Now, I don't necessarily think that we can figure it out subjectively. I think it would be difficult to pinpoint which one we are, because I don't necessarily think that it's always conscious. You know, like we might think we're one, but we're actually not. So I don't know. But I like that that's, in terms of inner child work, I like that they're included. But we could, like I said, do this in color theory, to where we could put different ones in different categories, you know, and figure out if they kind of match up, you know. Put that somewhere else. I mean, just for, you know, just to lay down some examples here, okay? Here is the blue/indigo purple cards, okay? You got the gossip. Let's move these out of the way. Here we go. Okay. You know? I already got cards everywhere. Got some blue cards, right? Just a few of the blue cards. And would they all kind of, can all of these be umbrellaed into one of, like, let's say the top 12 archetypes, right? Who knows? Because when I go back and look at like the art and archetypes videos that I did a couple years ago on the channel, I did like a 12-month thing where I journaled about the 12 main archetypes. That's another thing Carolyn Myss mentions, is that we all have 12, but the 4 of them we all share: the victim, blah 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 blah, whichever other one's the child. And so it's kind of cool to think of these as expressions of those 12 main. In my opinion, that's what this would be. So I think in terms of color theory, this might be a cool exploration. Like, how are the destroyer and the engineer the same? Because I believe that there is an aspect of creation and destruction here. So that would be a creator archetype, right? So these could all be going into the creator. Like, we can guide the beggar and the athlete, right? Or the gossip and the beggar. I don't know. It's like I can already envision really long rambles in the journal because of this. I'm like, why does bully wind? I don't know. Something else to explore. Also, something else that they do in this deck, let's see if I can pull out an example, is the fact that they do this. Here's the Don Juan and the Femme Fatale, okay? So they're two different cards, okay? But then, when you go through the deck, you have seemingly archetypes that would be seemingly separate, but they are, in my opinion, one archetype. Okay? So they've got the god and the goddess, the dilettante and the damsel over here, okay? But then they have cards like this, which is the hero and the heroine in one card. So why make the creative decision, sorry if I shook the camera there, why make the creative decision to do the femme fatale and the Don Juan, but then and not have a hero and heroine card? That doesn't make any sense to me. Now, maybe I'm just not versed on archetypes like I think I am, okay? Now, I kind of understand God and goddess in terms of divinity, but this would be divinity as an archetype. The femme fatale and the Don Juan, to me, in my opinion, would be one archetype of the seducer, right? Let's take to me, the gender roles don't belong here, because if we all embody these archetypes, much like the heroine and the hero, then this could have been like this in one card, or named the seducer as an archetype. And they do this for a couple of cards. They have the Midas and the Miser, the Monk and the Nun. Now, while these roles may have prominent, what I guess you could constitute as feminine and masculine roles separate, okay, much like the Monk and Nun, they're still under one archetype, I guess. Like, the Miser is one archetype. The hero, you could just put hero, because you kind of know, I guess, I just don't know if gender would play a role in terms of archetype. I don't know if it should be a thing. Then, like I said before, we got others. We got Prince, okay, or even more to the point, we've got King and Queen, okay. So to see how there's two separate cards, again, it's because seemingly they have two separate roles, much like the Emperor and the Empress in tarot. But then why have these inside one card? I don't know. So that's a little confusing to me as to why they may have done that, made that decision. Because like then you have mother and you have father in here somewhere, and I'm pretty sure father is over here with like the first half of the alphabet. Okay, so you have all these cards that have roles, definitive roles in them. Okay, but then you have these cards over here that are sucked into one card. Now, are they all umbrellas? I would kind of think that if we were going to separate the roles, that there should be, I don't know, like this is all one umbrella, you know? To me, mother and father would be the queen and the king, but that could just be because of how I think about tarot, right? So that's a good thing that we could do in terms of tarot. Let me give you an example, okay? Or not an example, because I haven't even done any of this before. But let's play. Let's play, because I promised play, right? Let's get the tarot out. Here's my Rider-Waite. My lovely Centennial, okay? We'll give it a shuffle. Just to say we did. Just to say, like we normally do, we shuffle the deck, okay? Got the deck. We're pulling some cards. All right, we're doing a reading, right? Let's put those to the side so we can see. All right. Now, let's do it this way so that we can pull some archetypes. Okay. Now, let's say that we're playing around with this deck and we're using this in tandem we're pairing it, okay, if you will, with the tarot. To I keep shaking the damn camera. To learn better about what the archetypes are trying to tell us. Now, already we have a really good archetype here with a major arcana, okay? But let's go beyond what we already know about the Lover's card, okay? And we are shuffling the archetypes deck here. Ooh, it's real sticky. And then we pull. Ooh, look at that. So we pulled the King for the lovers. Pulled the Father, ooh, for the Queen. And the Hero and the Heroine for the Nine of Wands. Ooh, this is really interesting. Okay, now already I'm getting some hits, okay? I like that this is the hero and the heroine. Now, if we read this, this says passion for a journey of personal empowerment or escapism and a false sense of heroism. This looks like a false sense of heroism. Now, only in my mind, if I were to pull these together, I would automatically go to the shadow. Now, I'm not sure why, but it does look like they're protecting, they're battle-born, right? And they're standing their ground, yes. But in terms of imagery, I would probably go to the shadow aspect of this. False sense of heroism, okay? But then the lovers, right? The king, enlightened, benevolent leadership, benefiting those who are in charge. The shadow is excessive feelings of entitlement, rulership without restraint. Again, maybe I'm just too focused on the shadow here, but I like the restraint part because it makes me think of the Eden. It makes me think of Eden here and how they're not restrained like they would be in the Devil card, okay? But we could still go into the light. There's still enlightenment happening here. So for the king, enlightenment, leadership. So the lovers in this capacity, we're looking at the lovers through the eyes of a king, through the eyes of benevolent leadership. How are we viewing lovers? Right? How are we leading lovers? Benefiting those in your charge. Are the lovers in your charge? Or is the king this? Instead of the angel, the king has replaced the angel here and it's residing over the lovers. What would that look like, right? In terms of like storytelling. And then over here we have the Queen of Pentacles with the Father, right? Now, kind of already I saw, let me just do this so we can see. Already I saw maybe the fact that like she's learned her grace and ways from her father, okay? So it says talent for creating and supporting life, which is very much Queen of Pentacles. Positive guiding light within a tribal unit. Dictatorial control, abuse of authority. Now, I don't see that with the Queen of Pentacles, but I see this very, again, I think we're focusing too much on gender with some of these because this could just be parent, a parental figure, right? And I very much see the light attribute coming out in the Queen of Pentacles. And so this could, in terms of parental figure, this Queen of Pentacles has become the parental figure, right? I don't know, I'm liking how the cards are, how the tarot, how the archetypes could be teaching us about tarot, you know, so to speak. So let's do it again. Okay. And then we'll pull this one. Oh, look at that. Wasn't I just talking about him? His horns must have been burning. And then we'll pick the top one of this. Ooh, look at that. Okay. Now, if we do that with this, that stack, okay. Pull this, and then pull this. Put these back together. Okay, so we have the Midas and the Miser for the Five of Pentacles. We have the Advocate for the Hanged Man. And with the Devil, we have the Detective. Ooh, look at that. Now, this isn't how to fit the tarot archetypes into these boxes. It's how to liberate them, okay? For me, it would be about liberation. And it would be about how these people are this... Let's say these people have their problems of their own making, Okay, so let's already look at the shadow. Hoarding money and emotions. Obsessive fear of losing your wealth. So see, out of fear, they've put themselves in this position. That's where I've gotten that. But then if we look at the light, entrepreneurial or creative ability to turn anything to gold. Delight in sharing life's riches. I like that. And see, maybe, but see, I don't see that in this image. I see that they're not wealthy, so they can't share their wealth. But anyway, now I really liked the Hanged Man for the Advocate because it looks almost, it looks like martyrism. Is that what it's called? No, martyrdom. It looks like martyrdom. But martyr is a different card in this deck. So, but the Advocate is an activist, right? So to me, the Hanged Man here isn't so much the martyr. He's the rioter. So he's in this position as a form of riot, as a form of activism. Inspires you to put compassion into action. And that's what he's doing here. So how in which, in the Hanged Man, all the ways in which you see the Hanged Man whenever he comes up, how can you see this in terms of an activist, in terms of an advocate, an ally, right? Use it in that terms. Embracing negative cause of committing to cause for personal gain. Again, that goes into like tokenism for me. But activism, I like the fact that he could have put himself in this position for the purpose of a riot and for the purpose of activism. I like that. And then we have, really interesting, we have the detective for the devil card here. Okay. Let me do this. So here's the devil and here's the detective, okay? Great powers of observation and intuition, desire to seek out the truth. Again, we see restraint here, right? But the desire, the detective nature, it makes me think of a private investigator, right? Voyeurism, falsifying information. I see that here. I see both actually in the detective, in the devil. How in which could the devil be this private investigator? This someone that's seeking the truth, but he's restraining those that he's investigating, right? He's using his own biases. Maybe he's using his own biases to detect. And there's a way in which he has to unrestrain himself and his own biases to be objective. I don't know. I'm liking this. I'm liking this. And again, every card to me, every card in the tarot is an archetype. So learning how these archetypes embody, or the archetypes of the tarot could embody, okay? And we'll do one more. I'm going to shuffle again, just so we can say that we properly did. It's very hard to riffle shuffle this deck because it's kind of like soul cards. They're very tough to shuffle because they're like so thick. They're stiff and thick like soul cards. So it's kind of hard to riffle, but whatever. Okay. So I've shuffled this. I've put that right here. And here's the rest of the tarot deck. I'm going to shuffle this. And I'm holding the baby as we do this. Yeah, we're playing around. All right, let's do this one more time. Now we've shuffled the deck. Let's pull 3 cards because 3 is my number, you know. Ooh, I like that we got a court. Ooh, look at that. Okay. I'm loving the cards that we've been getting. Not that they would have, none of them would have been bad. Okay. Okay. And then we've picked some piles here. Okay. Okay. So this, ooh, is the angel. The world becomes the addict. Holy shit. That's not some shadow work. I don't know what is. And the Knight of Cups is the Gambler. Look at that. See if we can pull you guys up a little so you can see a little bit better. There you go. And the Seven of Pentacles is the Angel. Wow. Now, one thing I don't know if I agree with about this deck is that they use the Angel here in a human capacity. So I'm not necessarily sure why the Angel is an archetype, because we're forcing angelic essence into human. I don't know, into a human. I don't know if I agree. So I'm not really sure why it is happening the way it is. However, we're going to go with it because it's part of the deck. So we have the Gambler here. I love this image. Look at this. I don't know. This is very evocative of an image. Willingness to follow intuition even when others doubt you. That is very much the Knight of Cups energy. Very much. It's intuitive, right? He's going to go where his intuition tells him. And that's a large part of the Gambler, but the shadow of the Gambler is relying on luck rather than hard work. I can definitely see that as the shadow of, already that matches up perfectly, okay? I love that if he's going by intuition, then he might not be looking at what all he can do to change his path, you know? So I like that. I like that. The World card becomes the Addict. Now, the light attribute for the Addict is helps you recognize and confront addictive behavior, right? So in terms of the World, to me, that this is fullness, okay? This is looking at all aspects of yourself, okay? And when the Addict comes up, it's, for me, it would be almost ethereal to be able to pinpoint your addiction because you feel so above yourself. Like you're so much more enlightened, and you need to bring yourself back down to earth to be able to pinpoint what your addictions are. The shadow is compromises integrity and honesty, allows an addictive pattern to have authority over your inner spirit. Again, we're talking about the spirit, talking about being above yourself. You need to pull yourself down, and I believe that that's what this message would have been for this card. Okay, and then we have the Seven of Pentacles, someone looking out over their garden. This is very much, again, like hard work. But we got the Angel for this. Look at her pink wings. I love them. Helping those in need with no expectation of return. The shadow is acting innocent or angelic to mislead others, falsely claiming to be in touch with angelic guidance. See, this could be another card in this deck is called the Messiah. I believe that this and the Messiah are the same cards, but you know, who am I to say? But in terms of the Angel, in terms of this archetype coming up with the Seven of Pentacles, it's almost like, and just let's do this so we can see. Okay. How then how is the Seven of Pentacles the figure or the archetype they're in, whatever, helping those in need with no expectation of return? This could be that he's growing this garden. It's a community garden, and he's using the hard work to give back to the community, right? Community garden style. But then his shadow is acting innocent and angelic to mislead others. How and which is this garden that he is fertilizing, building, working hard to cultivate? How is that misleading others? How could that be misleading others? Falsely claiming to be in touch with angelic guidance. Maybe he's saying that God, you know, this again, this Messiah complex, like I said, I think they're the same thing. He believes that God told him to plant the seeds here. But in reality, it's just his Messiah complex. I don't know. This is very interesting. I like using this with tarot. I do. We could keep going with this. Now, I'm going to pull out a deck that I haven't used in quite a while, or that I haven't shown on the channel, and it's called the Truth Deck Dark Edition. I don't know if this is still in print. I will leave the Pretty Spirits website down below because that's where I got it. They make the Truth tarot decks and other oracle decks, and they're really good at what they do. But this deck is full of shadowy stuff. And so I would probably like to use these two decks together to pull out what I can see in terms of shadow. So, just to give you an example, let me do this. It's a very slippery deck. On the backs of this, it indicates like twisting and going within, and like a magic eye painting. All right, that's enough. All right, so much like the tarot, I might not pull 3 because they're really harsh, but just for the purpose of playing around, let's pull 3, okay? Okay, so right off the rip, we have conniving, obsessive, and trapped. Okay. Ooh. I don't know why I'm shuffling again. I guess because I felt like it. Let's see what comes up in terms of the archetypes. Healer, exorcist, Avenger. Wow. Wow. Look at that. A trapped Avenger. Ooh, chills. An obsessive exorcist. Think of that movie, right? The shadow is fear of facing your own demons. But in terms of obsession, this could be obsessing about your demons. Obsessing about demons. Like, I'm sorry, I'm just getting the movie Constantine in my head. Obsessing about the demons that you need to eradicate, okay? Like that. Or like you're hearing voices, right? Like I get very like you're hearing voices, you're hearing your demons, you don't know what to do, you're obsessing about it. Very Nine of Swords, right? Conniving healer. What does that mean? Taking advantage of those who need help. Failing to care for oneself. That's the shadow. Okay, taking advantage, conniving, right? Being a manipulative healer, right? Doing it for personal gain, maybe. And then a trapped avenger, restoring to violence in the name of a cause, right? Riot, rebel with a cause, okay? Desire to balance the scales of justice, righteousness on behalf of society or oneself, okay? Desire to balance the scales of justice, but you're trapped by your own society. I feel like society has trapped you from becoming the Batman, okay? I don't know. See, these two decks together. Actually, you know what we're gonna do? Let's play again. Let's play some more. Okay? Let's pull some tarot decks too. Man, we'll just get all of them out. Just all the decks. Okay. Ooh, girl. Look at that. Oh my goddess. There we go. Let's do that. Oh, I'm having some fun, you guys. Ooh, a conniving Queen of Cups. She's a healer, but she's manipulating us. She's put something in this cup, okay? And it's poison. If I were to pull these 3 cards together, I'd be like, okay, that cup has poison in it. She's trying to poison me. Why is she trying to poison me? What inside me is the Queen of Cups trying to eradicate, okay? Then if I pull the Ace of Pentacles with the Obsessive Exorcist, I'd be like, okay, it makes me feel like they need a boon. Like a a spirit. Still, this movie Constantine, you know, like they need something metal, something with holy water on it, right? Like you need an object. You need a tool, right? You need a special tool to be able to get rid of the demons. Ooh, I like that. And then this speaks of inner child work. Okay, that you wanted to be a superhero, you're obsessed with superheroes, you're trapped by the society, maybe you like something that society doesn't think that you should like, right? I like this. Ooh, I like it. Okay, let's do one more, because I don't know, I'm really liking this, you guys. Ooh, this is so much fun. This is so much better than just going card by card to me. What do we pull first? Let's pull these first. The damsel, the hermit, and the hedonist. Ooh, all right. Let's do tarot. Three of Pentacles, the Ten of Wands, and the Two of Wands. Loving this. All right, now pull out the Dark Edition. Speak your truth, as nasty as it will be. Oh, there's one. Ooh. Look at this womanizing hermit. Oh, oh. Oh no. Okay, so the damsel is working towards something. Understanding the nature of healthy romance and inspires you to rely on yourself. Well, maybe this is, in terms of a collaboration, you need to stop being the damsel, okay? You need to stop being the one that's over in the corner complaining, not doing any work, okay? But you're depressed. You're depressed. Or maybe your coworkers are depressed because you're sitting over there on your bum not doing a damn thing. Waiting for a knight to provide for you. Seduction by romantic illusion. Yeah, honey. Your knight is depressed as hell. And he ain't coming for you. You need to save yourself. Okay. Let's get rid of the damsel. Alright. As this is our last one, I really want to concentrate on this. The hermit is a womanizer. Okay. Seeks solitude to focus intently on inner life, serves personal creativity. All right. But he's bogged down by his solitude. Maybe he's hermiting and deciding to stay single because he's been obsessing about his womanizing ways. Or maybe he's gotten his heart broken because of his womanizing ways. Withdraws from society out of fear of negative judgment of others, refusing to help those in need. Oh, you scorned a few too many women, and now you have to like go off by yourself. That's what I get with that, right? Oh, okay, and then the hedonist. The hedonist inspires creative energy to embrace the good things in life, celebrate the beauty in yourself. But you're defensive of that. Right? You don't think that that should be all that matters. Pursues pleasure to the detriment of health. Indulges at the expense of others. Again, a hedonist would be defensive of their hedonism, in my opinion. And if they become defensive, then they're going to go and seek out that next best thing, that next big rave, that next club, the next best piece of chocolate, you know, like whatever. Okay, their hedonism revolves around. I believe that the hedonist would be defensive of their mannerism. But I think that that's okay. I think that it's a good thing. to be resolute about who you are. And if you're not going to get the satisfaction out of life, then I do believe that it's okay to uproot and go find where you get the most good. But I do want the shadow aspect here to be a thing where don't put your health in, don't put your health on the back burner. Don't indulge just to indulge. You know, there needs to be a method to the madness here, and usually there is. I don't know. I'm liking this. All right, we're going to end with one. Just one. Okay? All right. Bam. Getting a lot of quartz today. All right, Queen of Wands. What are you trying to tell us all about archetypes? Okay, about embodying, about not fitting into boxes, right? What are you telling us about all that? Cheater. Oh, shit. Ugh. Oh, okay, what archetype's going to come up for that? Queen of Wands is a cheater? No, I don't think that this could just mean sexually cheating. This could be cheating on a test. Cheating at life. Right? Alright. What archetype is the Queen of Wands? The Scribe. Ooh, so that does indicate that maybe they're cheating at something at work, they're not being true to themselves in their journal, right? They're caring too much about what if somebody were to see this? What if somebody saw this? What would they say about me? You know, they're thinking too much about that. So they're cheating. They're not being true to themselves. Altering facts or plagiarizing others' works. Can you see the Queen of Wands doing that? I mean, I guess I could. Preserving knowledge and information. I definitely could see her doing that. But don't cheat at it. Be real. Use your own material. You know? That would be a good story. Like, I'm thinking in terms of story. This is so fun. Oh my gosh. Do you have this deck? How do you use this deck? Do you like this deck? Do you agree? Sometimes I'm thinking there's some creative decisions that I don't always agree with, but, you know, we shall see how it plays out. This was fun. Let me know how you liked playing around with me. Much love.